Hey everybody, welcome back to Leap of the Week. It's me, Sarah, and this week I want to address a question about neck stretching that I got on the YouTube channel. Before I do, I just wanted to say it makes me so happy to get questions from you guys because it gives me something to specifically talk about when I do these little Leap of the Week videos. What I will ask is that when you ask your question, that you make it kind of contained and precise and something that could be answered in a couple of minutes. It makes it much easier for me. And then also, I don't have to guess what part of the topic you are trying to find out about. I did get a request one time where someone just wrote in the comments section, groin. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not even going to touch that. So this week, the question that I got was, could I do a neck stretch? Because I show an example of a neck stretch. And um, those of you that know me are probably like, ha ha ha, a little bit, only because here's my feeling about what I think this person was asking for. And I don't know this person, so I'm not sure. There's sort of a older school of traditional neck stretches that are static and kind of long held. And I've been given them, I've done them, you've probably done them. They look kind of like this, right? Like lean your head one way and stretch it, lean your head the other way and stretch it, and you stay there or whatever. But my feeling is this, if I'm someone who's been in front of a computer, which is almost everybody at this point, right? If I've been here all day and my neck is kind of sore and uncomfortable, I don't know that, you know, pulling my head down and stretching it, that's going to be so loud in the mic, sorry, but I don't know that that is necessarily the best solution to what I've been doing. And generally speaking, for the neck, and it's sort of a complicated topic because you can talk about the top part of the neck totally differently than the bottom part of the neck, the vertebrae, the bones in the neck, and how they behave. And additionally, not everyone's forward head posture happens the same way. Some of it is flexion and extension. That's kind of most typical. Some of it's just mostly flexion. It kind of depends what you're doing. But in a more general sense, the issue for necks is that they just aren't being given the opportunity to do what they're supposed to do, which is to help you hold your head on top of your rib cage. So the thing that I typically give people to do instead of a static, passive, long held stretch for this situation, and let me just back up and say, the stretches that I was showing you guys for my frozen shoulder a couple of weeks ago, that's a completely different issue. So that also sort of goes to why I always say, like, don't throw anything out. I'm not going to completely toss the idea of a static stretch because there are occasions when it's applicable. This is probably less so. But again, always hashtag it depends. So what I like to do, there's lots of things actually that I like to do, and I teach a whole 2-hour workshop just on neck stuff, neck and shoulder and so on. But one of the things that I like to do just as a kind of day-to-day, keep my neck feeling good, is a series of movements that in some way you could sort of think of it as a stretch, but it's actually kind of it's a strengthening exercise disguised in a kind of stretchy-ish vibe. So what I like to do is, if we just recap really quickly, your head can do rotation, right? Your neck can do rotation. You can do side bending or lateral flexion, sometimes this is called, and you can do flexion and extension, right? So in essence, there's sort of 6 directions when you're just doing one direction at a time, not the band. So how do I address that? Well, one of the things that I like to do is I'll bring my head into the end range of this. So this is my rotation. And then I'll take my hand and I put it on the side of my head. So if I was facing you, it's like this. It's the sort of like, oh goodness, hand on the head, right? I'll put my hand on the side of my head here. And as I'm trying to return my head back to center, my hand is going to create some resistance. So I actually make it harder for myself to do that. So that looks like this. I've got my head here. I'm going to put my hand on the side of my head. I then use my neck to try to bring my head back around to center, and my neck wins, right? I don't, because otherwise I'll just end up here with my hand not letting my head go anywhere. My neck does win, but my hand is making it harder. And then you could do the other side. So your head comes over here, you put your hand on the side of your head. You are using your neck muscles to bring your head back around to center, but you're creating resistance with your hand as you go. And then you can do the same thing for side bending. You can do the same thing for flexion, right? For extension, as long as it's all, feels comfortable. And I think as a sort of day-to-day, just keeping the muscles of my neck happy, that's Pearl barking if you can hear her, just keeping the muscles of my neck happy, it's a really good way to go. So hopefully that answered the question of the person who posed the question. And please ask me any other questions that you would like to see addressed that can be addressed in a few minutes. Hashtag not groin. Um, and any other comments or questions that you have in the comments and questions below. And let me know, try this one out, see what you think, or if there's anything about it you don't understand, let me know. Okay, bye.